what you have to say.
You hear what I have to say? Pontificate.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, just really excited about 2019. Coming off an incredible summer. We're able to win the gold medal in the World University Games. Unique experience, one that I think our players and staff will remember for a long time. And to have the opportunity to represent the United States is something very few people get to do. So to have that opportunity is very humbling and I think made a big impact on our team. We really have a kind of a unique situation. We were still recruiting players well into the summer last year, and to kind of bring them all together, 7 new guys, and assimilate a team quickly and deal with some injuries to a couple good players that we were counting on. I just was really proud of the way our guys put it all together. And I like this team. I think there's a difference sometimes when you have so many new players, 7 new players, half your roster's new. The young guys come in with this youthful exuberance and enthusiasm, but then your older guys, our 2 grad transfers and our 2 other transfers, this is their first time to be at Clemson, and so they all want to put their best foot forward. I think they're excited about a new opportunity, and when you get guys like that, they're usually very coachable. They want to listen, they want to do well, they're trying to please, and so everything you're teaching, every time you're talking, it's new, and so there's an enthusiasm and excitement level with every meeting, and I think we saw that in Italy, and it's continued here. Our guys really like each other. They, I think we're probably void a little bit of maybe a preseason superstar like we've had, whether it's Marquise Reed or Jerron Blossom Game or Dante Grantham, some guys that we thought would be all conference players their senior year. But I think we have very good depth. I think we're still kind of in a wait and see situation here with our roster, but we took 11 guys that played regularly in Italy, and we subbed them in and out frequently, sometimes in 5s, sometimes in 2s, sometimes in 3s, but everybody played and everybody played unselfishly and played together, and that enthusiasm and energy was certainly apparent in the way we played. Our guys do an incredible job of sharing the basketball, and they've been really fun to coach because they're excited to be coached every day. And so I really, it's a little bit of a difficult situation because we don't exactly know who's going to be available and when all year. But I love the way this team works every day and the energy level they bring. And while we don't have maybe a superstar player right now, I think we have a couple guys that are going to emerge into really good players. Amir Sims, John Newman, I think, are 2 guys that played exceptionally well in Italy and feel like those guys are going to play well for us this season. And then we have a lot of other guys that are good players and capable of doing big things for us. And so the depth, I think if we can get our numbers back, our depth can be a real strength. And I think one thing we learned from Italy is we kind of changed the way we're playing a little bit. We picked up more, went back to picking up more full court, a little more pressure defense. We feel like we have good athleticism and length, and so we can do a little bit more of that and have the depth to play in the full court. And then offensively with Amir as a 5-man, we're a little bit smaller, but I think we've opened the basket area up. We have 3-point shooting and spacing to try to get layups and get into the paint in different ways. So it's been a fun way to kind of coach. It's been a really good group to be around and work with every day, and we're really excited about this year.
Is Amir playing at 5 something that's going to carry over into the season, and what does he kind of bring to that position?
Yeah, he's first of all, Amir has always been a guy that has been very mature. He's a guy we've kind of groomed to be a big leader. I think he has as good a leadership potential as anybody that we've coached in a while, probably similar to Dante Grantham. He's a very mature guy. He's very bright. He has a presence about him, and he's a good player. And he can shoot the 3. It's something we started working with him when he first came to campus. It's slowly been getting better and better. I think he now is extremely confident shooting the ball from three. Obviously, that opens the court up for other guys to slash to the basket, for us to get back cuts and layups. And we really are putting the ball in his hands more now, and he's going to have the ball at the top of the key, being a passer and facilitator for others. We trust him, and I think he's a highly skilled guy that, he's not going to have the size advantage that some other guys are going to have, but he's a very good basketball player and decision maker, and we want to build on that with him.
Brad, how much of a game changer, let's say, was Italy in the sense that your expectations of what this team could achieve?
Yeah, I think it confirmed what I wanted to do stylistically with play. I thought this team would be able to pick up and pressure, and I hope that Nick Honor and Alamir Dawes and Chase Hunter would all be athletic players like a John Newman, that we could get up the court, guard the ball hard, disrupt early, and that was part of how we played. And so it kind of confirmed that, and then it also confirmed what I knew we were going to do this year, which was move Amir to the 5, open the court up and try to play a little differently. So really what Italy did was just, validate what I've been thinking about for the beginning of the season. And so it gave us a little bit of teaching time. It certainly gave us some game experience to watch guys play together. But again, I really like what we saw, and there's no question that experience really helped us.
From the injury standpoint, do you have an update on Clyde?
Yeah, they're both doing well. I would tell you that I think both are ahead of schedule. We're, at one time we were hopeful to get Jonathan by the end of December. We're hopeful maybe it'll be the beginning of December. Everything still has to go well. It's beginning of October, so he's still got another couple months of good rehab to have, but he's done exceptionally well. Clyde is doing well also. His injury occurred 5 weeks later, I think, and so, I think we were hopeful for maybe the end of January, and now we're looking maybe beginning of January if things go well. He's a little bit further behind, so it's harder to predict those kinds of things, but their attitudes are both great. The doctors and Brad Crow and Mike Bewley, our strength coach and trainer, and those guys have done a phenomenal job, and the kids have really approached it the right way. And so, I think we have to all be careful, like expecting that, like, just because they come back, that they're not going to be back like the player that they probably were right before they got hurt. There's going to be an adjustment period that it's going to take some time to get used to. Those were very difficult times for us. You're counting on two guys that are very good players, older players, experienced guys on an inexperienced team, and you kind of lose them, and now you gotta bounce back, and they have to bounce back personally first, and so that's as big a challenge as any, is the mental part of it.
Brad, how important is it for guys like Tevin Mack to step into some of those roles like you're talking about with the filling in some of the
Yeah, it
experience?
is. There's no question. We went out and got 2 grad transfers, Tevin Mack and Curran Scott. We had no seniors coming back. Playing with freshmen in this league is not usually a recipe for success. You need some older guys that have been through it. Tevin's a young man that I've known since he was 17 years old and recruited him for a good while. And so I knew of his ability, his talent. I think this is a great opportunity for him to come back to the place where he's from, South Carolina, and really have a big senior year. He's a guy that can make shots, he can score. We need that. He's has to learn another system. It's kind of his third system, so there's a lot that goes into it. He's got to fit in with a younger team, but he's done a good job. And I really like how unselfish he's been. He's surprised me a little bit with, how unselfish he's been. In one of the games in Italy, we were up 1 with 11 seconds to go and got a rebound and reversed it around, and he had a chance to shoot a ball to ice the game, and he made a 1 more pass to Nick Honor, who made the 3, who was even more open, and that was a huge play. And I thought a very unselfish play for a guy who's a 5th year trying to produce, as people all want. He's here for his numbers and all that. Tevin hasn't been like that. He's been very coachable. He's worked hard defensively, and he's fit in. Curran is another guy that we saw as a guy who could come in and play a couple positions for us, bring some experience, bring some more 3-point shooting, and he's done a good job of adjusting. So I'm really glad we added those guys. I think they're their maturity level is something we're going to need desperately when we get to ACC play.
I think some people might look at that non-conference schedule and see you're not playing Ohio State or Florida like in years past, but you add 2 more ACC games, including the opener against Virginia Tech, Florida State in December. What are your thoughts about the schedule?
I like the schedule. I think it's, you don't have much flexibility anymore. We just keep adding games. When I first was the coach here, we were playing 16. Then we went to 18. Now we're at 20. So once that happens, you're going to lose some big-time non-conference games. You're not going to have as many. It's just no way to fill your home schedule the way you want to. And then you also need some opportunities to play at home, so you're not traveling around all over the place. But I like it. We've got South Carolina, who's Frank's going to have a great team, I think, this year. I know he's very excited about them. Minnesota, coming off an NCAA tournament, a lot of momentum in their program. TCU and Colorado are 2, highly successful programs out west. Those will be big-time games. Colgate is an NCAA tournament team that we play the first week. We decided to play 3 games the first week with football on Saturday. We kind of have an ACC game to start the season. We kind of want to wake people up that, hey, basketball's here, and so we got Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, 3 games, and hopefully get some fans out to see this new group of guys play. So I really like the way it's shaped out. We do have a lot of games early, and we'll need a couple weeks at some point in that late November, December time to kind of make some adjustments and get ready for ACC play as well.
With Tevin, have you talked to him at all about kind of why it didn't work out at past places and the maturity?
A little bit, but what's happened in the past, we don't need to go there and do all that. He needs to start fresh. I think as much as anything, it's about him looking forward, being optimistic, him understanding we believe in him, have confidence in him, and we're glad he's here. And he's got a role to play. He's got a big responsibility with a young team. But we just want him to come with consistent energy, effort, attitude every day. And if he does that, we're going to be fine. And I think he's going to do that. We don't need him to, when he scores, he scores. If he has a bad shooting night, we need to make sure he does other things to help this team win.
Zeke and Kayvon, kind of sitting out, kind of waiting around. What they're going to do. How's their attitude been, knowing that they don't even know if they're going to get to play this year?
It's been great. I think that's where the Italy experience was really good for those guys to play and contribute and get a feel. Kayvon is different in that he was basically hurt all of last year. He really did not do much at Texas Tech until a little bit late, and then by that time he was kind of already under the idea he's probably leaving. So I don't really feel like he had a normal freshman year. We've seen development just in him physically, being healthy and moving better and trusting his leg and kind of getting past some of the things that are mentally in your mind that you're dealing with, the demons a little bit, when you come back from a difficult injury. And so I think he's had a lot on his plate, but I've really been pleased with how he's progressing. Nick's a little quiet guy who plays with great energy and pace. Good little player that can do a lot of things well, and just very steady. And so because of that, I don't think things bother him too much. He just kind of does his deal. Now they're both anxious to hear what's going on, as we all are, but they've done a really good job of just coming to work every day and competing and being coachable and listening and trying to fit in with the rest of the team.
I'm guessing Coach Goins will be able to help you in your preparation with the Yale game, but aside from that, what does he bring to your staff?
Yeah, you know what? Young energy giver that I think will be very good on the road recruiting. Good young basketball coach too. Still kind of getting to know each other that way with spending time, but I like his personality. Very bright and just a guy who I think is going to serve us in a lot of different ways. I think our players are going to really like him and seem to like him a lot already. And he's one of those guys that's going to just keep getting better and better as he gains experience. Got a few things to learn about being at this level, but he more than makes up for that with the way he approaches his job every day and the kind of person he is. So really excited about his addition to our staff.
I was going to say, of course he's bright. He's a St. John's guy.
What's your feel for Al's development and mentality for sort of how he's becoming this challenge with
Yeah, I think there's a lot on him. Alamir Dawes, you know, if somehow Nick doesn't make it, we're almost down. We went from 3-point guards to 1 initially. So there's a lot on him. And, you know, he has very good tools. He has some toughness about him. He made big free throws over in Italy in late in games. He made a couple big plays late in games. Like, he's not afraid of the moment. I do think he's got to learn the position at this level and all that's involved. And some of that is getting more guys involved. And, you know, that'll come with time and development. And you know, there's going to be some bumps in the road. There's no doubt about it. This is a big challenge for a young player, but I love his confidence, his swagger, his competitive spirit. He's a competitive guy.
Brad, is there a different challenge in coaching a team this year without, you know, that doesn't have the experience that you had the last couple of years with on this team?
Yeah, I think you have to be much more patient as a teacher. Some of it is fun because you kind of go back to, you know, simple fundamentals and basic principles that you kind of were raised on and how you coach, but to make sure that the young guys have them and understand it, that this is how we do things and this is the expectation, and, you know, these are important, and we're putting 2 hands on passes, and we're you know, pivoting this way and doing a lot of little things that they will begin to realize that's the right way to do things, and you can't wait until you're playing Florida State and Duke to have that habit. By that time, it's going to be too late. And so you really enjoy that. There are times it's a little frustrating because we're spending time on things that we should be able to get past. In the past, we've been able to do that, but it's again, the excitement that the young guys bring and that new players bring to a program is very fun every day. It's a different set of energy that you kind of deal with that has been very exciting and fun for our players and staff.
You say you don't really have a superstar on this team, but Amir, I think it was the semifinal in Italy, had that monster game, really seemed to put the team on his back. Is that something you think that you could see more?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to need a primary player, and Amir, John Newman, I think are both guys that have opportunities to do that. Amir, we've got tremendous confidence in him. He's got 2 years of good experience. We think he's playing a position that's really going to suit him well. And as he continues to have good games, his confidence is only going to grow. So there's no question that we feel like he's more than ready. John Newman, I think, is, you know, thrust a little bit into it with a little bit of the injuries to Clyde and Jonathan Bear. You know, John Newman's a guy we had to kind of encourage him to go make more plays. Don't be afraid to make a mistake here or there. You know, you're a guy that we think that can create and do things for yourself and for others. And he's really improved dramatically since he first came to campus. John's always been a good defensive player. Offensively, he's gaining confidence. Shooting has improved, and now he's starting to get to the point where he's always been able to kind of get to the rim, but now he's making plays for others off penetration. I think that's the mark of when he's elevating his game to another level player, and his development will be important in this year's team.
Brad, what about a player like Hunter Tyson?
Yeah.
What he's got to do this year? What do you want him to do?
Yeah, just very good shooter, stretches defenses. Had a couple games where he made 5 threes over in Italy, and catch and shoot guy that can play a couple different positions. Want him to continue to get better defensively and be a little bit tougher at times, but I do think his rebounding continues to get better. His understanding of what we're doing gets better and better, and his confidence is growing. You can see his confidence growing. You know, but his ability to shoot the ball with range and with size, that's a really, really important skill that's going to benefit this team.
Coach Bender talked about. Go ahead. Coach Bender talked about how the team over there, they were kind of 4 guys in a room, and they're having to learn to live together and be together. How could that help? Since you had such a veteran team the last few years, how's that going to help with such a young team to have these guys already kind of together?
Yeah, I think first of all, just having so many guys that are in the same classes. You know, last year was a little tough because not only were our seniors, they were 5th-year seniors, so they're really grown men that are you know, they're at a different place in their life than your freshmen and sophomores are, and sometimes managing that is a little more difficult than everyone understands day to day. And it's not quite, there aren't quite as many similarities, there aren't as many things to bring them together naturally, and so you're trying to do that. That's where this experience is, you know, unbelievably rewarding for our guys, and a benefit for our team is that they were put in this together, lived together for 2 weeks in, you know, okay conditions, but not ideal. And, you know, they enjoyed it. Obviously, the experience of winning the games helped continue the positive momentum, but I think they really got to know each other much better. And when you have 7 new guys and you're trying to do that, that's really important. And our guys approached it with a great attitude, and I think it can really help us.
I was going to say, Jonathan was a guy we haven't really seen play in the game.
Jonathan Bear.
Yes, sir. Just what were you counting on from him if he would have stayed healthy, and then if he's able to get back to that?
Yeah, well, first of all, he's just different. He's 6'10", long, and he can run and jump, and he's really his ball skills are good. I mean, he's starting to shoot the ball well. He can dribble and pass for his size. He plays away from the basket. He's really kind of a nice complement to Amir from the standpoint of he's 6'10", Amir's 6'8", Amir's 240, 245, and Jonathan's probably 220. You know, he's lost a little bit of weight, some strength during this situation. They're building it back, but he brings a whole different dimension to your team, especially defensively when you've got a different kind of pogo stick guy out there. I mean, he was a good shot blocker and length, and he can do some different things that are unique to really help your team, that are just different than anybody else on the team.
3-point line moving out this season, you had a little bit of a head start
Yeah.
with both the NIT and Naples. How much does that help, and you think you might be as good or better from 3-point as last year?
Well, I think the 3-point line is going to have an effect on the game. I don't think it's as easy. It's that foot and whatever it is, a couple inches is going to make a difference. In the corners, it's tighter, and so you're going to see more guys standing out of bounds, and they're going to step, and their back foot's going to touch the base, touch the sideline. You know, guys that were pretty good, decent shooters are going to it's going to make a difference. The guys who can really shoot, they'll be fine. But there's going to be that fourth guy on your team that's shooting threes. He may not shoot quite as many, and so. You know, this is a year we probably need to make more threes because of our lack of size. We're going to have to do more from the perimeter. So it's something we're certainly working on, but I do think it's a major change in this year's game.
Brad, obviously you saw the California law. What's going on there? Do you have any feelings about it? Are you worried about it yet? Or do you think some form of change will be forthcoming?
Yeah, that's a hard one. I think we're all kind of, you know, trying to guess what's going to happen next. But I think we all felt like at some point we're probably going to get to this. It's good that it's a couple years away. You know, certainly our people and administrators and everybody are on top of it, like most people. I think it's more of just wait and see right now. I don't know that any of us know what it looks like. You can read all the things that people have said. It's going to lead to this and that, but at the end of the day, I think wait and see here a little bit is our best approach.
Any more questions?
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
So what are you going to hit us?
Have a good game.
No.